Good morning. The principal's book of the month for December is Chicken Sunday by Patricia Polacco. So if the title of the book is Chicken Sunday, do you think the book is going to be about chicken or be about Sunday? I don't know, but we'll find out. But Patricia Polacco is the author of the book. So what did she do? If you say she wrote the words, then you said the correct answer. I'm not sure who the illustrator is, but as you will see, the pictures in this book are very beautifully illustrated. And this book goes along with our theme of the month, which is caring. So I want you to think about ways that people are showing that they care in this book. So, Chicken Sunday. Stuart and Winston were my neighbors. They were my brothers by a solemn ceremony we had performed in their backyard one summer. They weren't the same religion as I was. They were Baptists. Their grandma, Eula Mae Walker, was my grandma now. My babushka had died 2 summers before. Sometimes my mother let me go to church on Sunday with them. How we loved to hear Miss Eula sing. She had a voice like slow thunder and sweet rain. We'd walk to church and back. She'd take my hand as we crossed College Avenue. Even though we've been churching up like decent folks ought to do, she said, I don't want you to step in front of one of those too fast cars. You'll be as flat as a hen's tongue. And she squeezed my hand. When we passed Mr. Kadinsky's hat shop, Miss Eula would always stop and look in the window at the wonderful hats. Then she'd sigh and we'd walk on. We called those Sundays Chicken Sundays because Miss Eula almost always fried chicken for dinner. How many of you like fried chicken? I know I do. There'd be collard greens with bacon and a big pot of hoppin' john, corn on the cob, and fried spoon bread. Does anyone know what hoppin' john is? If you don't know, it's rice and black-eyed peas, another one of my favorites. One Sunday at the table, we watched her paper fan flutter back and forth, pulling moist chicken fried air along with it. She took a deep breath. Her skin glowed as she smiled. Then she told us something we already knew. That Easter bonnet in Mr. Kadinsky's window is the most beautiful I ever did see, she said thoughtfully. The 3 of us exchanged looks. We wanted to get her that hat more than anything in the world. Stuart reached into the hole in our trunk of our wish tree in the backyard. He pulled out a rusty Band-Aid tin. The 3 of us held our breath as we counted the money inside that we had been saving for weeks. If we're going to get that hat for Miss Eula in time for Easter, we're going to have to need a lot more than this, I said. Maybe we should ask Mr. Kadinsky if we could sweep up his shop or something to earn that rest of that money, Stuart said. I don't know, said Winnie fearfully. He's such a strange old man. He never smiles at anyone. He always looks so mean. We all agreed that it was worth a try anyway. Have you seen evidence of caring yet? The next day, we took a shortcut down the alley in back of the hat shop. Bigger boys were there. They were yelling. Eggs flew past us as we pelted Mr. Kadinsky's back door. Just as the boys ran away, the door flew open. Mr. Kadinsky stared straight at us. You there, he yelled. Why did you kids do a thing like this? It wasn't us, Stuart tried to say, but Mr. Kadinsky wouldn't listen to us. All I want to do is live in peace. I'm calling your grandmother, he shouted as he wagged his finger in Stuart's face. Miss Eula was waiting in the living room for us. Miss Eula, we didn't throw the eggs, I sobbed. Some big boys did, Stuart sputtered. Well, what were you doing at the back of his shop in the first place, she asked. We knew that we couldn't tell her the truth, so we just stood there and cried. She looked at us for a long while. Baby dears, I want to believe you. Heaven knows that I brought you children up to always tell the truth. If you say you didn't do it, then I believe you. It's too bad, though, she went on to say. That poor man has suffered so much in his life. He deserves more than eggs thrown at him. You know, he thinks you threw the eggs. You'll have to show him that you're good people. You have to change his mind somehow. Have you all been blamed for stuff that you didn't do? I know I have. Let's see how the children handle this. In my kitchen, the next day, we thought and thought, how can we win him over when he thinks we threw the eggs, Stuart asked. He doesn't even like us, Winnie chirped. Eggs, I said quietly. Eggs, Stuart asked. Eggs, I screamed. I went to the kitchen drawer and took out a lump of beeswax, a candle, a small funnel with a wooden handle, and some packets of yellow, red, and black dye. Mom helped show the boys how to decorate eggs the way my bubby had taught us, the way they did it in the old country. We made designs on the eggshell with hot wax, then dyed them and finally melted the wax patterns off. We put the eggs in a basket, and even though we were afraid, we marched into Mr. Kadensky's shop and put them on the counter. He raised his eyebrows and glowered at us. Then his eyes dropped to the basket. Spabiska, he said. That means thank you in Russian. Pisanki eggs. He looked at them closely. I haven't seen these since I left my homeland. We didn't throw those eggs at your door, Mr. Kadensky, we told him. He looked at us for a moment. Well then, you have great courage to be here. Chutzpah, that's what you have, chutzpah. Then he glistened and his mouth curled into a warm smile. Come have some tea with me. We spent the whole afternoon talking together, having puppy seed cake and strong tea. He told us about his life. We told him about ours. When we finally got the courage to ask about doing odd jobs to earn some extra money, he apologized and told us that there was no work. We didn't tell him what we wanted the money for. It didn't seem like the right thing to do, and our hearts sank. Now, what did the children want to do with the money? Think about it, what they were trying to buy from Mr. Kadensky. I'll tell you this, he said thoughtfully. These eggs are as beautiful as my hats. Stuart, Winnie, and I looked at each other. It's almost Easter, he went on to say. I'm sure that people would love these eggs. Set up a table and sell them right there in my shop. For the next few days, we worked very hard. We made almost a dozen Pisanki eggs. When the people came in, they picked them up and said things like beautiful, splendid, intricate, glorious. We sold them all in a single day. That afternoon, when all the eggs were gone, we counted our money. We had more than enough for the hat. Just as we were about to tell Mr. Kadensky that we wanted to buy the hat, he came from the back room holding a beautiful hat box, and it was gift wrapped. Keep your money, children, he said softly. I have seen Miss Eula admire this. It's for her, isn't it? Tell her that I know that you are very good children, such good children. When Easter Sunday arrived, we thought our hearts would burst when we watched Miss Eula open the hat box. She held us close as big tears rolled down her cheeks. Our hearts sang along with the choir that Sunday. She looked so beautiful in the hat. And when it was time for her solo, we knew she was singing just for us. Her voice was like slow thunder and sweet rain. Later that day, as Miss Eula sat at the head of the table, she said, "Oh, baby dears, I can die happy now. And after I'm dead, on Chicken Sundays, I want you to boil some chicken, bones, gravy, and all, and pour it over my grave. So late at night, when I'm hungry, I can reach out and have me some." Then she rolled her head high back and laughed from a deep, holy place inside. Winston, Stuart, and I are all grown up now. Our old neighborhood has changed some, yet it's still familiar too. The freeway rumbles over the spot where Mr. Kadensky's shop once stood. I think of him often and his glorious hat. We lost Miss Eula some time back, But every year we take some chicken soup up to Mountain View Cemetery and to do just as she asked. Sometimes when we are especially quiet inside, we can hear singing, a voice that sounds like slow thunder and sweet rain. And this book was actually based on some children. And if you can see, I'm going to look, see if I can come a little closer. This is Patricia, Stuart, and Winnie. So this is about what happened to her when she was a little girl. So it's kind of autobiographical. And so that's the end of Chicken Sunday. And so your assignment is this. In our Dobbs Creed every day, you say that you'll do your share to show how much you care because you're proud to be a Dobbs student. I want you to write for me so your teachers can put up on your bulletin boards how you show that you care at Dobbs. And before I finish and say goodbye, I want to talk to you about an earthquake. We have to practice various drills throughout our building to make sure that we are ready for anything that may happen. And you all were ready to exit today when the fire alarm went off, and I'm glad about that. But if we have an earthquake, remember, the code is to stop, drop, and hold on. We don't go into the hallways. You stay where you are. Hold on to your desk, because with earthquakes, that means that the earth is getting ready to start moving and shaking. So you hold on to whatever's nearest to you. So we will have an earthquake drill. So remember, stop, drop, and hold on. And don't forget about your assignments to write about how much you care. I hope you enjoyed this book of the month, and I look forward to seeing each one of you very soon. Have a good day.